All right, this week we're going to be making some brownies. So let's gather our ingredients and get started. To start off, you want to make sure your oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. You can spray your pan with cooking spray or line it with parchment paper. I like to use parchment paper because then it kind of acts like a sling, so when you pull it out of the oven, it's ready to come out of the pan. You want to combine your wet ingredients together in either a large bowl or large measuring cup, starting off with 1/2 cup of oil. Next, you're going to add in 1 cup of granulated sugar. You can use 1 cup measuring cup or 1/2 cup 2 times. Set that aside, and the next ingredient you're going to add is brown sugar. Brown sugar is pretty sticky, so you want to make sure that you pack that down into the measuring cup. This recipe uses 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Next is a 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Whenever you're pouring vanilla or small amounts of liquids, pour that over something else so that you don't accidentally get too much into whatever you're mixing. It's hard to remove the small amounts of liquids if you get too much into the bowl. And last liquid ingredient is going to be 3 eggs. So you're going to crack those into your bowl or measuring cup. I like to tap the egg on the counter or cutting board before I crack them. If you crack it on the edge of the bowl, that can give a little bit of breakage to the egg, and then that could potentially get eggshells in your food. Now you're ready to mix everything together. So you want to use a whisk for this part. It's going to take a little bit of time to get everything combined since there's a lot of ingredients in there. So just keep mixing away until all of your liquid ingredients are combined. If things are getting stuck inside the whisk, you can use a rubber scraper to get everything out of there so that you can finish mixing everything up. When that's done, set it aside so that you can get to your dry ingredients. You're going to start with 1 cup of flour, measured by scooping and scraping. Always scrape the excess into your container, not into your bowl. You can use a metal spatula or a butter knife to scrape. Your next ingredient is going to be cocoa powder. 3/4 a cup of cocoa powder for these brownies. Cocoa powder is very bitter, so that's why this recipe calls for quite a bit of sugar and brown sugar. It has to balance out the bitterness of the cocoa powder. So 3/4 a cup of cocoa, and then 1 cup plus 1/2 cup of the sugar and brown sugar. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio of sugar to cocoa. After you've added your cocoa, your last ingredient is going to be salt. Even sweet recipes have salt. Salt enhances the flavor, and so just 1/4 of a teaspoon is all you need for this recipe. And then give it a good mix to stir until combined, and you're ready to move on. Now it's time to get everything mixed together. You're going to combine your dry with your wet ingredients. I like to pour everything into a large measuring cup. That way you can hold on to the handle while you're mixing, and it makes everything a lot easier. Use a rubber scraper for this part of the mixing. If you try to use a whisk, everything is going to get all clumped together and it's going to make it very hard to mix it up. It will take a bit of time to get everything mixed together. You have to get all of that powder and liquid combined, and that does take a little bit of time, but just keep at it and mix, mix, mix. Once your batter is ready, you can decide if you want to add any optional mix-ins, such as chocolate chips or chopped up pecans or walnuts. If you're going to add the mix-ins, mix those in just before you're done mixing the batter. So get that all the way mixed in. You could even save some to sprinkle on top of your brownies if you wanted to. Once everything is combined, use that same rubber scraper to spread your brownie batter evenly into the pan. Scrape all the edges of the bowl to make sure all of that batter gets into your pan, and you're going to bake all of the yummy goodness. Spread it out so that all of the edges of the batter are touching the edges of the pan. And then once you've done that, you are ready to place it in the oven and bake for 25 to 35 minutes. Once it's come out of the oven, you can take it out of the pan to start cooling. The parchment paper makes it really easy to remove from the pan. Enjoy!